opposition that will test him. Hence, last night's appearance at Wembley Arena of 34-year-old Scott Ledoux from America, who less than 3 years ago fought for the world heavyweight title against Larry Holmes and went 7 rounds with him. How would Bruno handle him? That was the question as the first bell sent them into action. And Wembley really does come alive as Bruno gets into the ring for this, which conceivably could be the toughest fight of his career so far, with Scott Ledoux from Minnesota. Scott Ledoux, 34 years old, one of the veterans of the American ring, who's fought for the world heavyweight title against Larry Holmes, who came off second best, and has fought a lot of the top heavies, and got a draw with a couple of them. Ken Norton, for instance. So he's a man who brings a lot of experience into the Wembley ring against the young British prospect, who of course has been training for this past week under the supervision of Floyd Patterson, the former world heavyweight champion. And Floyd is sitting right alongside me here at the ringside. How's he been shaping up in training, Floyd?
Well, there wasn't enough time to teach him too much. The 2 things that I did teach him is one on defense and one on offense. As far as defense is concerned, I told him to hold the left hand higher and the right hand higher, and throw a lot of straight left jabs. We used to telegraph the jab. Now, if you notice, he doesn't. I wanted to keep his hands higher because he was open for counter right hands and left hooks. But now, if you notice the way he's holding his hands, he's not open for those punches anymore. So those were 2 main things that we worked on. But of course, he's fighting a very well-experienced fighter, Scott Ledoux, who has fought 5 champions. That's a lot of experience.
Well, we hope that Scott Ledoux won't be one of those opponents who fold up too fast.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'll be surprised if that happens.
Bruno conceding a few pounds in weight, 15 stone 9.5 Bruno, and Ledoux a massive 16 stone 2. Those 5 world champions that Ledoux faced: George Foreman, Leon Spinks, Ken Norton, Mike Weaver, and of course Larry Holmes, the current WBC heavyweight champion. Ledoux comes here with 47 fights on his record. Against Bruno's 14. That's a good, solid left jab. And over goes Ledoux at the end of the first round. And the bell comes, and the count will continue, but he's up on his feet. Well, there's a little example, Floyd, of what you were saying to me last week in Sports Night, that when he throws a punch, it does seem to carry some power.
I have to say one thing about it. He is a fantastic puncher. I think in years to come, once he learns how to throw that the right way, he's going to be one of the hardest punchers in the heavyweight division.
Round 2. So now, can Bruno achieve something really sensational here and stop this man quickly? What an amazing thing it will be if he does. Ledoux went 7 rounds with Larry Holmes. Got a draw with Ken Norton and Mike Weaver. And Bruno's big thumping jabs are taking him full in the face. Not much has gone right for Scott Ledoux in recent fights, and that seems to be true enough here. And he backs off. Ledoux struggling to maintain some sort of credibility here as a viable heavyweight on the world scene. must say this for Bruno, Floyd. He hasn't shown any sign of nerves. I mean, this is the toughest opponent that he's had yet, but doesn't seem to be making much difference to him.
Yes, he just appears to be a bit tight, but that could be because he's very muscular.
Wow. Again, that left hand of Bruno's finds the target, and Ledoux feels it. You notice a fair bit of difference between a week ago when you came to see him first?
Yes, you see, the left jab is one of the main things that we worked on. Keeping the left hand up differently than the way he carried it previously.
And Ledoux complaining about the head. And Larry O'Connell having a little quiet word with him, trying not to let this get out of hand. And Ledoux is stumbling all over the place. He doesn't quite know what to do about this. And there's some blood on Ledoux's face, and he may well be cut. And Ledoux's left eye is cut, in fact, at the end of the second round. He was put over at the end of the first, and now he's got eye trouble at the end of the second. And that may well have been done by the head, I suspect. Well,
quite possible, yeah.
But would you expect, Floyd, would you expect a young American heavyweight with the equivalent sort of experience to rough up Ledoux in this way?
Well, let me put it this way. Bruno is young, quite young. He's eager, he's hungry, he's almost like an animal in there. So the other gentleman's had, although he's had a lot more experience, he's not as hungry as he was originally, and he's a lot older, 34, I believe. So you got to consider that for one thing. Although I said earlier, as the fight progresses, experience and inexperience will show.
Seconds off. Round 3.
And again, the big left of Bruno's goes straight in. Ledoux's left eye patched, but still looking red. There's some blood still there. And he looks to have quite a nasty cut above that left eye. Almost a vertical cut above it. It's in a dangerous place. So this fight barely started, and yet we've had quite our share of sensations already. Ledoux down, and now cut. And blood seeping from the cut again. And as Floyd Patterson was saying, the man is 34, and ambition probably is long since gone. And he's not struggling to win here, but struggling to survive. And that eye is looking quite nasty, and Larry O'Connell wants the blood wiped away so he can get a closer look at it. Bruno's gone to a neutral corner. And I think Larry O'Connell is saying he can't go on, and that is exactly what he's saying in the third round. Just under 2 minutes of round 3. Ledoux is pulled out of the fight by the referee with a bad cut on his left eye. And Bruno has marked up win number 15 in his professional career.
5 seconds of round 3.
And the Wembley crowd disappointed that they didn't get more of a fight. Beginning to boo. But Ledoux sportingly holds up Bruno's hand. And that makes 15 out of 15 for 21-year-old Frank Bruno, 13 years younger than his American opponent.